Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Thomas of Woodstock, the fascinating unfinished prequel to Richard II, which may or may not have been written by Shakespeare and may or may not have been written even 400 years ago. We don't even know how old it is. But anyway, we're just going to talk about the story today. We're going to get to hear from the Earl of Arundel in Act 1, Scene 1. Now, the Earl was having dinner with a bunch of other people, including Gaunt and Langley, and they all came running out because they were afraid that they had been poisoned. But then Cheney, who is a manservant to Thomas of Woodstock, who is also the Duke of Gloucester, said, no, the poison was actually in the wine that was going to be served after dinner, so all of you are fine. So then they start wondering, who could have done this and why specifically they might have been targeted for poisoning. And the Earl of Arundel says, perhaps my office of the Admiralty, if a better and more fortunate hand could govern it, I would 'twere none of mine. Yet thus much can I say, and make my praise no more than merit. A wealthier prize did never yet take harbor in our roads than I to England brought. You all can tell, full 60 sail of tall and lusty ships, and 6 great carracks fraught with oil and wines, I brought King Richard in abundance home. So much that plenty hath so stalled our palates, as that a ton of high-priced wines of France is hardly worth a mark of English money. If service such as this done to my country merit my heart to bleed, let it bleed freely. So after the Earl of Surrey had said maybe somebody wanted his earldom and that's why the potential poisoning was happening, this is the Earl of Arundel saying maybe they want all of my ships. And if somebody else could run all of my ships better than me, like, more power to him. But, and then he goes on to toot his own horn, or actually blow his own horn as loud as possible. He's like, nobody has ever done better things for England than I have. I brought in 60 ships full of oil and wines and all of this great stuff I've imported from overseas, so much so that it's flooded our markets, that French wine isn't worth anything these days because there's so much better product that I brought into England. So, you know, if my service of this sort to the country means that I need to die, then it was worth it. Which is, you know, a bit of a braggart, that Arundel. So Gaunt is like, all right, if you're gonna bleed, everybody's gonna bleed. We're gonna take everybody down with us. What kind of revenge are we gonna be able to take for these people, whoever it was, theoretically wanting to poison us? And York is like, settle down, just hang on just a second. Cheney, tell us, how is your master Plain Thomas? Because the people call him Plain Thomas because he is plain in his dealings and because he wears really boring clothing. And Cheney's like, he's good. At which point Thomas of Woodstock, his master, the Duke of Gloucester, enters along with the Lord Mayor and Sir Piers of Exton and some other people. So there's some hellos said, and Thomas's hello is going to be tomorrow's monologue. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.